welcome back to my YouTube channel, Tim's Blog Spots. This is Tim, and we're going to continue on with the book, The Mouse and the Motorcycle by Beverly Cleary. So let's get to it. Let's get started with book 2. We left off with chapter 1, where they just enter the hotel, and they got a room where it has twin beds, and it's in a corner room, and the mom and dad think there's mice in the room, and they don't want to stay there, so they think that they should drive to a different hotel on the Mountain View Highway, and they should look for something else, and that they think that this hotel is up to date. People think that the people who run the hotel think the hotel is up to date. It's old fashioned, and the kid is playing with his toys on his bed, and then his mom tells him to get ready for dinner because dinner is at a certain time at the hotel room. So we're going to continue on with chapter 2, the motorcycle, from The Mouse and the Motorcycle. Let's get to it. Expect for one terrifying moment when the boy had poked his fingers through the mouse hole. A hungry young mouse named Ralph eagerly watched everything that went on in room 215. At first he was disappointed at the size of the boy who was to occupy the room. A little child, preferably 2 or even 3 children, would have been better. Less messy children were always considerable about leaving crumbs on the carpet, or well, at least these people did not have a dog. If there was one thing Ralph disliked, it was Snoopy Dog. Next, Ralph felt hopeful. Medium-sized boys could almost always be counted on to leave a sticky candy bar wrapper on the floor or a bag of peanuts on the bedside table. When Ralph could reach them by climbing up the telephone cord with a boy this size, the food, though not apart to be plentiful, was almost sure to be of good quality. The third emotion felt by Ralph was joy when the boy laid the apple core by the telephone. This was followed by despair with the mother dropping the cord into the metal wastebasket. Ralph knew that anything at the bottom of a metal wastebasket was lost to a mouse forever. A mouse lives not by crumbs alone, and so Ralph experienced still another emotion. The time food was not the cause of it. Ralph was eager, expecting coarse and impartial at once. The emotion was strong. It made him forget his empty stomach. It was caused by the little cars, especially that motorcycle, that pew sound the boy made. That sound seemed to satisfy something within Ralph, as if he had been waiting all his life to hear it. Pew went the boy. To the mouse the sound spoke of highways and speeds, a distance and danger, and whiskers blown by the wind. The instant the family left the room to go to dinner, Ralph scuffled out of the mouse hole and across the thread carpet to the telephone cord, which came out of a hole in the floor beside the bedside table. Ralph scolded his mother from the mouse hole. "You stay away from the telephone cord." Ralph's mother was a good warrior. She worried because their hotel was old and run down, and because so many rooms were often empty with no careless guests to leave crumbs behind for mice. She worried about rumors that their hotel was to be torn down when the new highway came through. She worried about her children finding aspirin tablets. Ralph's father had tried to carry an aspirin tablet in his cheek pouch. The aspirin had dissolved within unexpectedly suddenly, and Ralph's father had been poisoned. Since then, no member of the family would think of touching an aspirin tablet. But this did not prevent Ralph's mother from worrying. Most of all, Ralph's mother worried about Ralph. She worried because he was a reckless mouse who stayed out late in the daytime when she should have been home safe in bed. She worried when Ralph climbed the curtains to sit on the window sill to watch the chipmunks in the pine trees outside and the cars in the parking lot below. She worried because Ralph wanted to go exploring down the hall instead, traveling under the floorboards like a sensible mouse. Heaven only knows what danger he might meet in the hall, maids, bellboys, perhaps even cats, or what was worse, vacuum cleaners. Ralph's mother had a horrible vacuum cleaners. Ralph was used to his mother worrying, got a good running start, and was already halfway up the telephone cord. Remember your Uncle Victor, his mom called after him. Ralph seemed not to hear. He climbed the cord up the telephone, jumped down, and ran around to the row of cars. There it was on the end, the motorcycle. Ralph stared at it and then walked over and kicked a tire. Close up, the motorcycle looked even better than he expected. It was new and shiny and had a good set of tires. Ralph walked all the way around it, examining the pair of chrome muffles and the engine and the hand clutch. It even had a little license plate so it would be legal to ride it. Boy, said Ralph to himself, his whiskers quivered with excitement. Boy, oh boy, feeling that this was an important moment in his life, he took hold of the hand grips. They felt good and solid beneath his paws. Yes, his motorcycle was a good machine, all right. He could tell by the feel. Ralph threw a leg over the motorcycle and sat jauntily on the plastic seat. He even bounced up and down. The seat was curved, just right to fit a mouse. But how to start the motorcycle, Ralph did not know, and even if he did know how to start it, he could not do much riding up here on the bedside table. He considered pushing the motorcycle off onto the floor, but he did not want to risk damaging such a valuable machine. Ralph bounced up and down on the seat a couple more times and looked around for some way to start the motorcycle. He pulled a lever or two, but nothing happened. Then a terrible thought spoiled his pleasure. This was only a toy. It would not run. It would not run at all. Ralph, who had watched many children in room 215 and picked up a lot of information about toys, he had seen a boy from Cedar Rapids throwing his model airplane on the floor because he could not make it plastic parts fit properly. A little girl had burst into tears and ran sobbing to her mother when her doll arms came out of the socket. And then there was this nice boy, the potato chip nibbler, who stamped his foot because the batteries kept falling out of his car. But this toy could not be like all those other toys he had seen. It looked too perfect, with its wire spoked in its wheels and pairs of shiny chrome exhaustion pipes. It would not be right if it did not run. It would not be fair. A motorcycle that looks as real as this one had to run. The secret of making it run must be perfectly simple if only Ralph had someone to show him what it was. Ralph was not satisfied just sitting on the motorcycle. Ralph craved attention. After all, what was a motorcycle for if it wasn't action? Who needed motorcycle riding lessons? Not Ralph. He tried pushing himself along with his feet. This was not nearly fast enough, but it was better than nothing. He moved his feet faster along the tabletops and then lifted them up while he coasted. Feeling brave, he bent lower over the handlebars and worked his feet still faster towards the edge of the bedside table. When he worked up at little speed, he would coast around the corner. He scribbled his feet on the tabletop to gain momentum. In a split second, he was steered to the left. At that moment, the bell on the telephone rang, half a ring, so close that it seemed to pierce the middle of Ralph's bones. It rang just that half ring, as if the girl at the switchboard recognized she just rung the wrong room and had jerked out the cord before the ring was finished. The half a ring was enough. It shattered Ralph's nerves and terrified him so that he forgot all about steering. It jumbled him through until he forgot to drag his feet for brakes. It was so terrifying he let go of the hand grips. The moment of the motorcycle carried him forward over the edge of the table. Down through space tumbles Ralph with the motorcycle. He tried to straighten out, to turn the falls into a leap. But the motorcycle got in his way. He grabbed in vain at the air with both paws. There was nothing to clutch, nothing to save him, only the empty air. For a fleet instant he thought of his poor old Uncle Victor. That was the instant of the motorcycle leaping with a crash into the metal wastebasket. Ralph fell in a heap beside the motorcycle and lay still. End of chapter 2. And we're going to be reading chapter 3 tomorrow, and it's going to be called Trapped. There it goes. Chapter 3 tomorrow is called Trapped. Thank you for listening to chapter 2 on part 2. If you like part 2, go back and watch and listen to part 1, the beginning of The Mouse and the Motorcycle, and listen to part 2, and tomorrow will be part 3. So thank you and have a great day. This is Tim, and this is Tim's Blog Spots. Bye.